Welcome to Pathways to Success, a program that supports micro, small, and medium enterprises here on the Bilyonaryo News Channel. I'm Mai Rodriguez. Today we celebrate a brand that has stood the test of time for the past 53 years. This brand has been a favorite among students and young professionals looking for locally made, good quality shoes. Let's find out the story of one of Marikina's enduring family-owned businesses, Otto Shoes. And joining us in the studio is the Chief Admin Officer and second-generation owner, Monica Escano. Monica, welcome to Pathways to Success.
Thank you, Mai, for inviting us here.
A pleasure having you here. So let's talk about Otto, because Otto has been around, it seems, forever. I was a kid back then in the 80s. Otto is everywhere in the malls, right? And for school shoes, you think about Otto. Okay, so tell us about the story behind the name Otto, because it's quite interesting. It's quite an interesting name.
So it was my father who started our Otto Shoes brand. He got this name when they were on a honeymoon with my mom. They went to Germany for a shoe fair, and he saw this name, the name of King Otto. So that inspired him to name our brand Otto Shoes. That's where it came from.
Okay, from his travels, and it was from a king,
Yes,
Otto.
yes, that's right.
Okay, so in 1971, your father founded this business from the backyard of your ancestral home in Marikina. So tell us about your father, Mr. Manuel Samson. Was he very entrepreneurial at a young age?
Yes, he was very entrepreneurial. In fact, he started working when he was still young. He started selling cigarettes. That's how he started his entrepreneurial spirit. He started selling cigarettes, and then he started selling newspaper when he was a kid. But he was exposed to the shoe industry at a young age because his grandparents, which are my great-grandparents, had a factory also of making shoes. So in the 1940s, after the war, my great-grandparents were already making shoes. My dad, because he's exposed to this kind of business, started making shoes, and he started to supply to my lolo and lola and to his other relatives who were also in the shoe industry.
Okay, so he's been surrounded all his life with entrepreneurs in his family.
Right, right.
Okay, what was it like though, growing up, surrounded by all these shoes, I can imagine. Tell us, how was it for you and your siblings?
I actually grew up in the factory because we lived in our house was in our factory. My dad had his philosophy that it was easy to run the business when it's just at your backyard. So I grew up in the environment of shoemaking. He exposed us very early in the factory, so we did things from the beginning of the shoe, like cutting, until we finished constructing a shoe. He taught us in the factory how to do it.
All his children were taught how to make a shoe, like the whole process.
Yes.
From drafting, right? You draft and then you cut.
So every summer, he would bring us and give us a job to be in the factory, and we'd observe our workers, and then he'd also assign us to stores on how to sell, how to do the inventory. I also remember doing the register, the cash register, and like assisting the customers. So he really exposed us at a young age on how to run a business or how to manage a business, which are the skills that I'm so thankful that we were exposed to that, because I know the value of hard work, and I think that was the thing that he was trying to teach us, to persevere and the value of hard work.
So it's largely because of that. That's how the business acumen was rubbed off on you, and also your brother and your 3 sisters.
Yes. Actually, I see the passion of my dad in producing shoes. So that was passed on to us. It rubbed on us.
So growing up was, you were all expected to be in the business, in the family business, or did anyone resent that?
We were during after our college years, we were actually in different industries. We were not forced to work for our dad, but eventually it's a family business, and you'd want that legacy that your dad started, you'd want to continue that. And I feel like the blessings that I have in my life are because of the because of this shoe industry, what it gave me, the opportunities that it opened up to me and my family, I feel very grateful that I'm in this industry and I have to give back. So I feel like I have that responsibility to provide jobs, to continue the family, the legacy of our family, and to continue the tradition of shoemaking, not just in Marikina, but also in the Philippines, because we'd like to share that knowledge of how to make shoes, because we were known to be shoemaking capital before, and now it's not the same anymore. So we'd want to contribute and to continue that tradition on teaching the next generation on how to make shoes, and that there are opportunities in this industry.
Yes, and Otto is a legacy brand, and I'm sure your father has passed on to you many learnings and also your experience growing up in the business. So what were his values, his business values that you hold close to your heart?
I think like the values that really has an impact on me is that you have to value your partners in business. Don't lose their trust. You have to value your employees, because you won't grow without those employees that have helped you all through the years. In fact, we have employees that started with my dad, and until now, they are with us because we give them value, we honor them, and one of the things that he is teaching us also is that hard work, don't stop, we have to persevere. And there are times that there's an up and down of the industry, of the business, but you just have to continue on.
We will talk about the many challenges that your business has faced over the years in a bit. But first, let's talk about your growth, because from the first retail outlet opened by your father, and that was in Pasig City, how many retail outlets do you now have?
We now have 49 retail outlets. Actually, we started in Pasig. That was my maternal grandmother's place. She had the drugstore there that they were operating, and they were generous enough to give my father and my mother a space where they can sell and start their new venture. So my mom, together with my dad, was able to grow with the 49 stores that we have today.
49 stores, and that's nationwide,
That's
right?
nationwide, correct.
Yes. Tell us about your products. From shoes, you have your shoes displayed over here. You have expanded your line into other leather products.
Yes, so now in our stores, we offer not just shoes, but we also sell bags, we also sell leather accessories, we also sell accessories like
Belts?
socks and belts.
Belts,
Yes, and we also have a leather store located in our flagship store in Marikina that I'm inviting everybody to visit. It's an Otto Shoe. It's an Otto Shoe Marikina. We have an Otto Shoe museum there, and I'd like to invite everybody to visit us. It's our flagship store.
Tell us the address, exact address.
It's at JP Rizal in Marikina. It's in front of the Our Lady of the Abandoned Church. I hope they can visit us because here we have a shoe museum that we share with for free.
Yes.
Yes.
Was the very first shoe design that your father created, is it still there? Is it in the museum?
I wish I could find it, but it's not there right now. But we have other things that we're highlighting there. We have workshops that we do in the museum. And we also have, sometimes there are people who do events there who have a passion for shoes, and they do their birthdays there. It's an interesting place, and I hope people can visit it because we want to share and we want to inspire people, because shoes can be found in everyday things. We have this one section in the museum where we have trinkets or things that were inspired by shoes, like salt and pepper shakers that are shoe shaped, or T-shirts with shoe print. So everything shoes can be found in everything.
All the merch are there.
Yes.
Yeah, like all the merch from Otto and also the other services that Otto is offering.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Monica, for that. We have so much more to talk about, but we have to take a quick break. When we return, we will find out what it takes to build a legacy brand like Otto Shoes. Keep it here on Pathways to Success. to Pathways to Success. We are still with the Chief Admin Officer of Otto Shoes, Monica Escano. So, Monica, let's talk about how your business has evolved, because Otto Shoes has been in the business for more than 5 decades now. What do you think is the secret to the staying power of your business?
I think one of the things that made us stay here is that you have to evolve with the environment, with the business environment, because it's ever changing. We are in the retail industry and you have to keep up with the changing trends, and you have to keep up with the technologies to be able to satisfy your customers.
You mentioned your shoemakers, the workers that have stayed with you over the years, and some have been with you from the very beginning. Tell us how you take care of your craftsmen, your workers.
We give value to the years that they have been with us. So we give them, of course, a fair wage, we give them incentives, and there's also open communication. One of the things that that our father taught us is to keep that family-oriented style of management. So that's how we treat our workers. They're like part of the family.
Yes, and with modern equipment and advancements in technology, were there changes in terms of your production, of the production process?
My father is a firm believer of applying the new technologies. He likes to invest in new technology and machines. So we've been able to keep up with that. And we mend and combine the traditional way of making shoes with a new and advanced way of how to make the work more efficient and easier for the workers, and have a better quality of shoes with the innovation.
Yeah, and how did your employees adapt to these changes?
They're very open when you explain to them how to operate the machines. They're very open in learning. So that's also a good plus for us, because they don't feel threatened that they're gonna lose their job just because, we're upgrading their machines. They feel like it works hand in hand. The machine and the hand making skill works hand in hand, so that we can produce quality shoes.
Let's talk about the shoes that you brought here on display. The design, though, you brought more of the school shoes,
Yes.
right? Does this largely make up the core of your business, school shoes and office shoes?
Yes, Mai. Actually, our core products are school shoes, but we've also added a range of product selection that we have incorporated and have sold in our shoe stores, so that customers can choose what they want or whatever for their need.
What are the most popular styles there?
We have both the classic, of course. We also have the classic ones, like the boat shoes, and then we also have our black shoes. We also have our heels, the heels for women, office shoes. We also specialize in that.
I noticed the Mary Janes are there.
Yes, actually, these are the designs of my father. So these are inspired by Doc Martens. So we try to keep up also with the trends, so that we also capture that younger market, because we don't want to be, we always hear, we always hear from older generation, oh, I used to wear Otto, but I hardly hear the new generation say that I've been using Otto. So now we're upgrading our designs, improving our quality, so that we also attract new customers.
Yes, of course, and the younger set
Right.
would love to see, if they love Doc Marten shoes, they see also the similar design, right? So of course, there are no glory days without hardships. What are the constant challenges in the shoe industry that you're facing?
During the 1990s, we experienced the influx of China products. So that was a big challenge for us. And then we tapped, of course, to survive, we tapped on our strength, which is quality. And we know that we are one of the few companies here that produce locally. So that's one of our strengths, and we played on that. Secondly, the pandemic, everybody was affected by the pandemic. We had to look into our core principles and values on how to survive, and we had to make some changes so that we could survive the pandemic.
Yeah, talking about the pandemic, how did Otto Shoes adjust to the total stoppage of work and everything just completely stopped, and like everyday life stopped?
Yes, during the pandemic, we had to downsize. Unfortunately, we were forced to downsize our operations, both retail and on the manufacturing side. But we also strengthened our online presence during that time. No one was going to the stores, malls were closed, but there's another way of selling, which was the e-commerce. So we tapped into that, we strengthened that, our presence online, and we tried to sell online and satisfy the needs of our customers. We also diversified into a different type of product, which were used, like slippers, which were used mostly at home. So we had to adjust on the needs or what the customer wanted.
So diversification and also selling online, is that how your business restarted? Is that how you bounced back?
Yes, it helped a lot. E-commerce or our online presence helped us bounce back. And little by little, we were able to bounce back by the economy reopening. So people felt like they wanted to shop. So there was revenge shopping. So people wanted to buy again. So we maximized that opportunity.
Would you say your sales now are back to pre-pandemic levels?
I could say that it's slowly improving, and hopefully we get to go to that point that it was even better than the pre-pandemic sales. But slowly but surely, we're doing that and trying our best to reach that goal.
Okay, I hope so. And Monica, after the break, we're going to talk about how Otto Shoes is looking into the future, what's next for your business. We'll take a short break. When we return, we will find out the future plans of Otto Shoes. Keep it here on Pathways to Success. Welcome back to Pathways to Success. We are still with Monica of Otto Shoes. Now, Monica, of course, Otto Shoes is a legacy brand. We can say it's an institution already in the shoe capital of the Philippines, Marikina, of course. So let's talk about how you are adapting to technology, attracting the younger market. How active are you in social media in promoting the business?
First of all, I'd like to thank you for considering us as a legacy brand.
Of course.
It's what my dad has worked. It's a proof that my dad's hard work has paid off. And as a second generation, I'd like to continue that legacy. So thank you for considering us as a legacy brand. But it has its advantages and it has its challenges. So for the younger generation, it's a bit of a challenge on how to capture that market because they have a different kind of buying pattern and different kind of buying preferences. But we're using our advantage, social media, to tap them and to reach that market because they have a different behavior in buying.
Tell us about the buying preferences, for example.
Actually now, if there's a slow movement in food, there's a slow production also in shoes. The younger generation have appreciated more the handicraft and the craftsmanship that we put on in a shoe. They value the price, but they also balance they also balance it by also looking at where it is made, what's the material that's been used, is it economical, is it
sustainable?
Yes, is it environmentally friendly?
Okay.
So all of those things, they take into consideration. It's just not the typical buyer that we have, that it's the price and that's what they can afford. They have a different buying pattern and they usually don't go to the stores anymore but purchase it online. Also, it's also important for them, the buying experience. In our Otto Shoe Museum, most of the kids go there or the younger generation go there because we just don't sell there. They have this experience of looking at how we make the shoes and then being immersed in that kind of environment, they can see where it came
Yeah.
from, what the material was used. So it's very different. It's very different for them
Yeah.
than our older consumers.
I guess with social awareness, they also want to know where is their shoe coming from, what
Yes.
materials are being used. Some are looking for vegan
Yes.
materials already.
And they also appreciate that it's locally made because it supports the local economy, and for them that it makes an impact.
So aside from your off-the-rack shoe collection, are you planning to explore other services that will enhance your customers' shopping experience?
Yes, Mai. In fact, right now, we're upgrading and modernizing our stores to make it more inviting and cater to the younger generation. We've also strategized our online selling. You can find us in our Facebook page or Instagram page, and also we sell in TikTok. So we're trying to keep up with the trends of the younger generation so that we can tap into them.
And as the Chief Admin Officer, what are the future plans for Otto? What are expansion plans?
Aside from, of course, we want to expand. Aside from the expansion plans, we'd like to continue providing jobs for the Filipinos. So we'd like to continue locally manufacturing, and we'd like to provide more jobs for the Filipino and positively have a contribution in the community, not just in the shoe industry, but also in the economy as a whole.
Well, and as someone who literally grew up in the shoe industry, what advice can you give to startups?
I always say that you have to be passionate in what you're doing, because if it's just all about earning and money, you won't last. Because there are times that they're going to face challenges, and there's not enough. But you have to persevere in what you're doing. You have to love it so that you get that energy from the passion in what you're doing. And also, don't lose the trust that people put in you. You have to value your partnerships and your employees, because they've helped you be where you are. They will help you they will help you be successful.
Okay, thank you so much, Monica, for your time with us and for sharing the story of Otto Shoes. Definitely one of the brands, the local businesses giving back to the community. Thank you.
Thank you.
And that's our show for today on Pathways to Success. Tune in again tomorrow here on the Bilyonaryo News Channel. Always on top.